make it to Biden's desk because Nancy Pelosi was running the show over in the House.
Braun says now that Republicans have the House, he hopes to pass a bill about the Wuhan, China lab leak. Actor and comedian Will Ferrell, you might have heard of him, was at the Pacers game last night. He was very complimentary of injured forward Aaron Nesmith after the player turned down his offer to buy him a beer.
Aaron, you're in really good shape.
We're trying our best over here.
Rapper 50 Cent was also in the building. He gave the crowd a few laughs after pushing Ferrell onto the court in a race car, of all things. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Bear.
It's a hit Harrison East Side, English Avenue and Emerson Avenue. Then on the south side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic after the White River to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by Truehold. The Fed Chair Pal said the home values will likely continue to erode for some time. Now is the smart time to lock in your home's current higher value. Get paid in cash and not have to move. Learn more at Truehold.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a cool day, but seasonal for this time of year. Upper 40s with a mostly sunny sky. Lows tonight bottom out in the low 30s, and we're in store for another chilly day Wednesday. Highs in the mid-40s with a mix of sun and clouds. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8's Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. So I'm kind of dealing with a sick kid at home, and I wasn't paying attention to the time. I get a text from Hammer. And the text quite simply just said, hey, Tucker's going through the January 6th stuff tonight. And my response was, oh, F yeah. Oh, man.
Times have changed when you get older. Like, if I were to text you 20 years ago, we're going out drinking tonight. The double-jointed cheerleaders are here. F yeah. And now, Tucker's got the January 6th stuff. F yeah.
Well, he's had it for a while. Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, gave him a bunch of footage that has previously been unreleased and not seen, at least by the general public. I'm sure the January 6th committee saw all that footage, but decided that some of the footage really kind of diminished their narrative of an insurrection. And so, I mean, you could start with the QAnon shaman, the Chewbacca guy, as we like to call him.
Chewbacca, the Viking, the shaman, whatever you want to call him.
He looked more like he was taking a tour of the White House than he was a terrorist or an insurrectionist. There were police officers escorting him around, like showing him around.
It was like Will Ferrell at the Pacers game last night. Here, let's take you into the locker room.
And so we didn't see any of that footage. We just saw the footage of him yelling and screaming. And by the way, the guy, whatever his guy's real name is, I don't know what his real name is, but he does look like he has some problems mentally. But that's not the point. I'm wondering if this guy's lawyers were shown this footage before he was sentenced to jail.
Because he pled guilty.
Or prison, yeah.
He pled guilty. But I'm wondering, would he have pled guilty if he had seen that information? If this information would have been presented to his legal team? So if you missed it last night, I'm going to make this as easy as possible. Here is what Tucker Carlson did. He was able to obtain some video, hand it to him from Kevin McCarthy, the new House Speaker, and Tucker and his staff had about 2 to 3 weeks to look at it. And what we found out last night, and he showed video by video, frame by frame, that, number one, Brian Sicknick, this was the Capitol police officer who the media told us was beaten to death by bloodthirsty Trump supporters, was actually kind of walking around after he allegedly took these major shots to the head that would ultimately kill him. He seemed to be fine walking around. The next day, according to the cause of death and the coroner, he died of natural causes, might have been a stroke. But he was not beaten to death by bloodthirsty Trump supporters. We also learned last night, as Nigel mentioned, the Viking guy just kind of being escorted around. Didn't seem like there was any sense of urgency. Remember when the narrative was that Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, he was the one that was kind of giving the fist up to the protesters, but then an isolated video clip came out that made it look like he was running for the hills, man. He was scared to death.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not really what happened. The full video shows that the Capitol Police Department told all the folks inside of Congress, hey, get out now. And there's a bunch of people
like
running to the
them.
exit.
Yeah, it wasn't just him.
And Josh Hawley was one of them. It showed how the producers of this prime time January 6th committee put in some inflated audio to make it sound like the crowd was louder. Or as we call that, pulling an Indianapolis Colts.
I was just thinking that same thing. The Colts and who are they playing? The Steelers, and they got accused of pumping in additional crowd noise to make it even louder.
Right.
Pulling an Indianapolis Colts.
Last night, Tucker Carlson's video showed that Ray Epps, controversial Ray Epps, he lied to the January 6th committee about the timeline. Looking at the time that he sent some text messages out to when he left, he lied to the committee.
That was the guy that was trying to, quote unquote, fire up the crowd and incite violence and a riot. And some people think he was part of, he
was a plant.
Yes, exactly.
And also, the January 6th committee lied about Republican Representative Barry Loudermilk, because they said that he was giving the rioters a recon tour the day before. On January 5th, we've got this video of him showing some of the rioters around. No, that's not the case at all. It was some constituents from his hometown, including children, and they were like taking pictures and doing basically a tour. So these were all the things that Tucker showed on video and walked people through last night. A lot of the footage you were not allowed to see, and the January 6th committee chose deliberately not to use.
And it further confirmed to me what I kind of already knew in the first place, that the January 6th committee is a bunch of BS. Pelosi blocked any Republicans from coming in and cross-examination and things like that. And it wasn't an insurrection. It wasn't anything more. There was violence, of course, and people deserve to go to jail if there was violence. Police officers recovering from injuries. Yes, those people deserve to be in jail. But, I mean, again, going back to, just one example is the Chewbacca guy. If his lawyers had that footage of the police officers giving him a guided tour, a calm and reason, honestly, most of the footage is people. I think the cops did an interesting thing. They let him in to the Capitol, which kind of, dissolved a lot of the intensity around it. They let him in. It looked like they was waving through traffic. Yep, come on in, stay within the velvet ropes. And people were taking a tour. Was it ugly? Yes, there was some ugliness, but people deserve to be in jail. But I do not think this was anywhere close to being an insurrection. I would say rioters trying to break into police precincts and federal buildings in 2020 all across this country. That's an insurrection.
So you mean to tell me Kamala Harris comparing January 6th to 9/11 and to Pearl Harbor was a little bit over the top?
It's disgusting is what it is.
Tucker Carlson touched on something last night because of the reaction you saw from the left today. This is crying Chuck Schumer.
Last night, millions of Americans tuned in to one of the most shameful hours we have ever seen on cable television. With contempt for the facts, disregard of the risks, and knowing full well he was lying to his audience, Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection.
That's not what he did.
I, so many others who were here in the Capitol, and millions of Americans are just furious with Tucker Carlson and Kevin McCarthy today.
I'd say it's not. I'd say it wasn't an insurrection, but it was violent. There was some violence there.
And Tucker said that as much last night. He said there was some violence, but to call it an insurrection is a stretch. Here's a little bit more from Chuck Schumer.
And he's going to come back tonight with another segment. Fox News should tell him not to. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, tell Carlson not to run a second segment of lies. And Speaker McCarthy is every bit as culpable.
Tucker Carlson, Chuck Schumer says that Fox should not air any more of your content. Your thoughts?
How about no?
That is a pretty bizarre statement from the senator. You have politicians, people in power, telling the free press what they can and cannot do and say.
And CBS this morning, they were in meltdown mode, basically saying that everybody at the Capitol was a rioter. They were trying to dethrone democracy. This is the same CBS that employs Norah O'Donnell, who sat there with a straight face and looked into the camera and said that the riots of 2020 were mostly peaceful, but caused $2 billion worth of damage. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Southside, eastbound 465, stop and go from Man Road over to Harding Street, and everything else on the interstates looks pretty good, but we are keeping an eye on that Southside delay right now. Traffic sponsored by Dell Technologies. Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with the tools to do incredible things. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
50 degrees at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Woodard, Emhart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Man, I just had an awful garage floor. It was old, it was cracked, it was stained, it was dirty, and Galaxy Concrete Coatings literally came in within a day, made my garage floor and my garage overall look brand new. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. The staff was awesome, very polite. And just so you know, what Galaxy Concrete is using is not epoxy. That's like the old standard. That's the old stuff the other companies use. What Galaxy Concrete uses is much better. It's polyurea. And that is the new premium standard for coatings when it comes to your garage. A Galaxy Concrete could do your garage, basement, pool deck, or any indoor or outdoor area concrete as well. And by the way, your garage floor will be ready to go in just one day after the application, instead of not being able to get into your garage for about a week while waiting on epoxy. You can go to their Facebook page and scroll down Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis and check out before and after pictures of my garage. Go to the website, set up a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office, 751-9070.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent to help you pick a policy that's right for you. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Canine Veterans Day is coming up. And right now we've got Canine Officer Kyle Schaefer of the Hendricks County Sheriff's Department joining us. Officer, how are you?
I'm doing good, sirs. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Now, this event coming up on Saturday, March 11th, at the Hotel Tango Distillery.
Yeah, that's on Zionsville. That's right down the road from me.
That's your neck of the woods there, Nige. 4 to 7 p.m. Tell us about Canine Veterans Day.
Canine Veterans Day was started, it commemorates and honors canine veterans throughout the country. March 13th is a significant date in that the Canine Corps was created on March 13th, 1942. So that is the reason for the date. We have it on Saturday because, Monday nobody wants to go out and drink. So we're going to do it on Saturday to see if we can to get some more people to, enjoy themselves and maybe loosen up their wallets and support our organization. So, but we honor these canine veterans. They do so much for us in law enforcement and military. We wanted to do something to honor these canines and show our support for law enforcement and the canine community in Central Indiana.
And there's going to be a lot of stuff going on at this event on Saturday at the Hotel Tango Distillery. Obviously, there'll be some beverages. There's raffles, all types of different things going on. And where does some of the money that's being raised at this event go to?
Yeah, so Canine Association, we have 3 main missions or goals. The first is the Shadow Fund. So a lot of times when these dogs retire, the handlers will keep the dogs, and they retire because of medical issues typically. And those medical costs are quite expensive. So the Shadow Fund is out there to support. It's a medical grant program for handlers and their retired dogs for military and law enforcement. That if they need some financial assistance, we want to make sure these dogs are taken care of in their retirement and, live their fullest life that they can in retirement. They spend so much time and working for us. It's the least we can do is to maybe just make their retirement a little bit better for these handlers and not a financial burden on their families. We spend so much time with these dogs. Like our kids. So
yeah.
It's amazing what these dogs can do and how much the bond that we spend to them. So if we can help these handlers and these dogs in retirement, that's what we're here for. The second, we have a training program to where we facilitate training in Central Indiana. We don't actually do the training, but, we facilitate training throughout the year. Several training events coming up starting in April. But we make it as affordable. We try to do it for free, but if we can do it free or at a very inexpensive cost to these handlers, there's a need in Central Indiana for training, so that just increases their professionalism professionalism and their accuracy and the things that they do out there. And then the third goal, we want to create a permanent training site, and that's a long-term goal. So 3 things right there that people can come out and support. And if they want to, specifically assist in one area, we'd love to have anything and everything. All is welcome. Please come out. These dogs, everybody loves dogs, so it really bridges the gap between the public and law enforcement, because everybody can relate to these dogs. So it's an awesome public relations connection that people can see and just admire what these animals can do. I've been doing it for 17 years now, and I love it. I'm amazed every time I see these dogs work. It's just awesome.
We're speaking with K-9 Officer Kyle Schaefer, the Hendricks County Sheriff's Department. The K-9's Veterans Day, Saturday, March 11th, this coming Saturday at Hotel Tango in Zionsville, starts at 4 o'clock. You mentioned training. I had that awesome experience a couple of years ago. I think it was summer of 2020. My kid was in Boy Scouts, and the Zionsville K-9 unit came out and gave us a demonstration of what these dogs are capable of, and it was just amazing. But he also, the officer that did that also said that training these animals is incredibly expensive. I mean, upwards of, $10,000 or more. A lot of money goes into training these, and definitely a worthy cause to donate to that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the $10,000 to $15,000 is just your initial cost. I mean, we train twice a month, and these dogs want to work. I mean, they're not your normal house pets that, come in and sleep on the couch. And a lot of times these dogs are, they're kept outside. They are, you hate to say it, but they're a tool designed to keep us safe and keep other officers safe and the general public safe. So you can't treat them as a pet, so to speak. So you literally got to get these dogs out and do some sort of work every day, and that includes on your days off. I mean, I work nights, and I stay up all night, and it's not unusual for me to be out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning running my dog just to get him out. Because they got to work. That's what they're bred for. They have so much drive and energy that they just cannot sit around and do nothing like a normal pet. So they, when they're out, looking for bombs, looking for drugs, looking for people, to them that's play. They don't understand some of these situations are dangerous situations that we're putting them in. To them, it's their job. That's what they want to do. That's their game that they play. And
hey, have you ever put on one of those big puffy protective suits and then had a dog, come after you during a training thing? I've always wanted to try that.
Come on out Saturday. I'll bring the suit.
Well,
mission accomplished, Nigel. There you go.
You've done that before?
See? Put your money where your mouth is now.
You've done that before? I have a feeling as much protection as you have on when you do that, you can still feel it pretty good.
Oh, the pressure is enormous. Yeah.
Imagine a suspect that doesn't have any protection. What that guy's feeling like?
If you come up on Saturday, maybe I'll show you a video or two off of the
Okay.
Because I love watching the On Patrol show, Officer. And again, I'm watching that every weekend. And anytime there's a canine involved, I'm rooting for the dog to get out of the car. I want to see the dog chase these scumbags down and do their thing, man. I'm rooting for it.
Yeah, and it's amazing how the suspects, the criminals, do an automatic 180 and just no, oh my God, stop.
Right.
They all of a sudden they're not so tough.
That's the advantage of these dogs. It's cool to send the dogs, and it's neat to watch these dogs do what they do and take down a bad guy. Believe it or not, though, that's not their first and foremost job is to locate people and/or drugs or bombs. If they can't find them, they can't do anything else to keep them safe. But you mentioned that, 9 times out of 10, you bring the dog out and we're required to give announcements and let people know, hey, we're going to get the dog and it will bite you, that sort of thing. 9 times out of 10 or 99 out of 100, they hear that or they hear the dog barking and they're like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, they come sauntering out. They come right out with their hands up.
Right.
That's the great thing about them. That's, that's what the dogs and the tool they're designed for, to keep them safe, the bad guys safe, to keep us safe, to keep everybody safe. And, man, if we can educate the public that, these dogs just aren't out there biting willy-nilly. That's not what we do with them. That's not their intention or anything. It's to keep everybody safe across the board. And that's the job that they do. So the Canine Association, if we can educate the public on what these dogs can do and how they do it, and overall, it's a win-win for the general public and law enforcement and all across the board.
Well, the big event's coming up this Saturday up at Zionsville, Hotel Tango Distillery, Canine Veterans Day, 4 until 7 p.m. Public is invited. Come out, hang out, have some beers, meet some heroes, have a good time, raise a little cash. Canine Officer Kyle Schaefer, Hendricks County Sheriff's Department. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a great day.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I realize the complexities of the human body and its ability to heal itself.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog talking about regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
It's a very well thought out process, and they use it in all the professional teams around the world.
Regenerative medicine uses healing agents from your own body, like your blood or bone marrow, highly concentrated and delivered right to the achy joint.
By putting it in the spot where it can't normally get to, you can facilitate healing.
At QC Kinetics, they are the nation's leader in this exciting field of medicine. Lasting pain relief with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery.
People are very happy to have an opportunity to get better without going through the entirety of a medical procedure.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. Learn more about regenerative options that could help you get your life back. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
I had old drafty windows, and I was having to spend a lot on heating bills. Window Nation came in and installed brand new energy efficient windows in my house. They look great. They changed the look of my house. They actually increased the value of my house. And now I'm saving money on my utility bills. Here's the deal. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Pay 0 down, 0 payment, 0% financing for 2 years.
How's this for a deal? Pay nothing for 24 months. Plus, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And it's any style that they offer from Window Nation, and there's no limit. So you're going to save thousands of dollars. Your energy bills will go down because your new Window Nation windows are energy efficient. All you have to do is contact them. You don't pay anything for 2 years. At least start the conversation. 866-90-NATION. They'll answer all your questions. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Fellas, need an annual health exam for work or just want to start the year prioritizing your health? We recommend Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They check all your levels, not just your testosterone.
It's typically covered by most health insurance, and if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for full labs and an office visit with the provider. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting outside of an NFL stadium. Sunny and 49 in the circle with a clear radar. Few clouds moving tonight as the low drops down to 30. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. A man was shot and killed outside Lucas Oil Stadium late Monday night on Capitol Avenue. IMPD Public Information Officer William Young says they're still trying to find the shooter and they could use your help.
In regards to this particular case, if you have information, please reach out to our homicide investigators. And you can do that by dialing 317-327-3475.
You can give Crime Stoppers a call, too, he says. Police believe the shooter ran into the convention center briefly, so it was placed on lockdown for a little bit. 4 Americans who were in Mexico for medical care were caught in a shootout and kidnapped. Mexican officials said today 2 of those Americans have now been found dead. The other 2 were found alive.
Attacks on U.S. citizens are unacceptable, no matter where or under what circumstances they happen. We will continue to work closely with the Mexican government.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, a relative, says the 4 Americans were traveling from South Carolina, so one of them could get a medical procedure done in Mexico. Congress needs to come to an agreement and raise the debt ceiling.
That's the only way out in a timely way that allows us to pay all of our bills when and as due.
That's what Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said while testifying before a Senate panel. Powell warned senators about the potential fallout of failing to raise the debt ceiling, saying the consequences will be harsh. Your senator believes the time is right for Congress to get to the bottom of the COVID lab leak theory. Donnie Burgess reports.
You've heard by now the U.S. Department of Energy believes COVID-19 most likely came from a lab leak in Wuhan, China, even though it was a low-confidence report. Your Senator Mike Braun tells Fox and Friends Weekend it's time for Republicans to keep pushing for declassification.
I think the consequences are going to be great in the sense that if there is something there, look at the political enterprising that's occurred over the last 2 years, the trillions of additional debt.
China has denied the lab leak story. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price for gas in Indiana today, $3.42 per gallon of regular, says Gas Buddy. That's down 1 cent from where the average was yesterday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
With traffic at 3:34, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison Southside, eastbound 465, that's stop-and-go traffic after Kentucky Avenue over to Harding Street 37. Now we drag into downtown, inbound 65, stop-and-go west to the north split. Continue on eastbound 70, it'll be a bit slow out to Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. And eastbound is 70, starting to load into downtown right around west. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a cool day, but seasonal for this time of year. Upper 40s with a mostly sunny sky. Lows tonight bottom out in the low 30s, and we're in store for another chilly day Wednesday. Highs in the mid-40s with a mix of sun and clouds. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8's Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer's right over there with a special guest of the DriveHubler.com hotline.
One of the great follows on social media is a writer for Outkick. His name is Bobby Barak. He joins us right now. Bobby, let's get into a little COVID. And it feels like a lot of people have been talking about this for a long time, but it's becoming more and more mainstream right now that we were fed some fantastic lies about the origin of COVID and, of course, people trying to cover their tracks about the origin of COVID. You've put a couple articles out on Outkick, so tell me your thoughts on what we're seeing right now.
First of all, I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, so now over a week ago, we learned from the U.S. Energy Department, and the FBI also found the same conclusion, that the virus, the pandemic, likely originated in Wuhan inside the lab. And I mean, for us, that isn't a bombshell. It was common sense. Like I always said, I find it hard to believe a coincidence that a lab that studied bat coronaviruses was not responsible for this novel bat coronavirus originating some 400 yards away from the lab. But we were told for a long time, almost 3 years, by the media and experts and the science and politicians that no way is the Chinese government responsible for this. This is absolutely not a lab leak. And we know they lied about that. They lied about everything. And what got me thinking is that at some point, maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, we're going to look back at the pandemic. And I always ask, well, what is going to be the headline? And to me, the headline is the war on information, the battle for the truth, the scarcity of facts that we've had in the public. I mean, guys, think of the average news viewer during the height of the pandemic, not the people who are online a lot or seeking out independent sources or on Substack or seeking out podcast hosts who are independent. Just the average drive-by news consumer. They were told that this virus originated from an animal, pangolin to a bat to a human. They were told that mask would stop the spread, that the vaccine would prevent infection, that the booster would prevent infection, that plexiglass would protect them, that masking their children up in schools would be the safe route, that closing down their businesses and hunkering down from society was sane and sufficient. These were all lies. They were duped. COVID showed that the people who control the information, be it the media, politicians, experts, they're the ones who are deceiving the public, not the so-called conspiracy theorists and right-wing anti-science MAGA people who the press always belittle.
And we found out recently that the former head of CNN, Jeff Zucker, he was telling his staff, encouraging them, do not talk even about the possibility of the lab leak theory, because that's something that can be tied to Donald Trump. And at that time at CNN, it's taboo for any of their news anchors and hosts to be talking about anything that came out of Donald Trump's mouth.
Yeah, this is incredible. Jeff Zucker pretty much told his journalists, hey, don't be journalists during the time of the global pandemic. Don't lose curiosity. Don't be skeptical. We're in a global pandemic. Just parrot the talking points of your bosses, your government, your Dr. Fauci. And that's exactly what CNN did. I mean, I put some of the headlines up there pretty much saying anyone who dares to consider the lab leak is a conspiracy theorist or racist and all that. And guys, unfortunately, it's not dissimilar to what the New York Times did. According to The Spectator, in August of 2021, a chief New York Times editor told his journalist, hey, don't even investigate the lab leak theory. You are not allowed to ponder that possibility unless you are going to diminish it. And that they did. I just find it absolutely revealing and hilarious and somewhat frightening that journalists from so-called credible outlets like the Times and CNN are not allowed to be journalists.
We're speaking with Bobby Burack, a writer for Outkick. Bobby, Nigel here. And I do want to ask you about Fauci's role in some of this and, you know, the EcoHealth Alliance and the NIH funding gain-of-function research. But you mentioned, I forgot about the plexiglass aspect of some of these measures to mitigate COVID. That, for me, was probably one of the dumbest things I've seen, you know, actually hindering filtration and circulation. And I wonder, looking back, what do you think some of the most inane, dumbest measures that we were told to take were? You know, the CDC arbitrarily making up the 6-foot social distancing rule. They had no idea what 6 or 3 or 10 foot would be. I'm just wondering what you think was one of the more ridiculous things to come out of that.
Oh, for me, it was, and this was at the behest of Fauci, going to a restaurant or going to an airplane and putting your mask on in between bites. If you're chewing on a chicken salad, after every bite, you got to put a mask on and take it off. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense. but yeah, the plexiglass is hilarious. I remember going into a party store and paying for something, and I met the cashier up front. She's like, whoa, wait, I cannot accept that until I get behind my glass because that's part of company protocol. This is all just hilarious. And guys, what bugs me the most about this, and I've written this at length, never before has American society provided more content for satire, but shows like SNL don't want to make fun of this stuff because, I don't know, they're afraid they might get canceled. But I could go on for days writing about all the oddities of the pandemic. They're just so funny when you look back because so many people showed how vulnerable they are for information, whether it be the glass, the 6-foot rule, putting your mask on in between eating a cheeseburger. I mean, this was such an attack on common sense.
I think my favorite part of the restaurant experience was when you walk in, you have to have a mask on. When you sit down, you can take it off because clearly the Rona doesn't know how to get down low. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole restaurant experience. Bobby Burack with us from Outkick. One more thing media-wise, because those who follow you on social media know not only do you cover news-related things, but you cover the media really well.
Yeah.
We were talking about CNN and Jeffrey Zucker and the ridiculous things that he told his staff. Well, he's not there anymore. CNN can't blame Jeffrey Zucker anymore for their low ratings. And when I say low ratings, sweet mother of all that's pure, Bobby, CNN is getting their ass absolutely handed to them.
Yeah, decade lows they haven't seen since the George Bush administration. A second one, that is, just to clarify. I don't want to hit them too hard. But yeah, CNN has no direction, no audience, no purpose. And like I've always said, the solution is what is so hard to find, because I don't know what CNN offers to the marketplace right now. I mean, obviously conservatives don't want to give them a chance. I mean, they have besmirched them and lied to them for 5, 6, 7 years. They're not coming back. I mean, liberals, staunch liberals, they have other outlets to go to, whether it be MSNBC or, I don't know, read the Washington Post. Like, they're not watching CNN anymore. We saw that from reports. And the middle-of-the-road people, I think, find CNN boring and too goofy. I mean, you have guys like Jim Acosta on air and, like, that morning lady, Breonna Kyler, who seems really angry for someone who makes a lot of money for sitting in an air-conditioned studio. So I don't know what purpose CNN serves right now. I mean, for a while they portrayed Trump as the boogeyman, and that worked okay during his White House era. But, like, right now, I find CNN just sort of distasteful, boring, and desperate. And based on the ratings, people agree. I mean, this is a network that can't even draw 600,000 viewers. There's cartoons at 3 p.m. beating CNN head-to-head.
Let me ask you, okay, back to Fauci for just a second. Yeah. We learned that he commissioned this paper to refute the lab leak, very demonstrative back in the day. No, there was no lab leak. It was the pangolin. It was from a wet market. Very desperate to get that narrative pushed out there. And now we know from emails and this commissioned paper to refute the lab leak, he had pretty good reason, possibly, allegedly, to try to squash the lab leak theory, didn't he?
Oh, of course. I mean, the gain of function research. I mean, when somebody eventually writes that book on it, Fauci really should be the central character. I mean, I'll say, at least the evidence points to this guy certainly having blood on his hands. What bothers me so much about this hack is that we have all these young adults collapsing and experience heart irregularities, and CBS asked them, like, hey, could this be related to the vaccine? He's like, how dare you? It's horrifying to even mention that possibility. I mean, this guy who has built a life around him, according to his words, the science, I mean, his sole job is to ask questions, show curiosity. He's done the exact opposite. He's trying to quash and suppress curiosity. I believe he's been hiding information from the very start, which goes back to what we began this column with, or this conversation with, is this is proven to be a battle of information. And I think the people, by and large, are losing that because the handlers of the truth seem to be burying it or holding it back from the public eye.
Bobby, have the lunatics of the left, and I'm talking about the extreme lunatics, the super woke culture, the over-the-top radicals, have they almost poisoned their party? Because we keep hearing about this civil war with the Republicans, the MAGA group, and the DeSantis people, and CPAC was a mess. But you could look at the Democrats and say the same thing, because now you've got celebrities who are liberals like Woody Harrelson, Bill Maher, Chris Rock. They're all speaking out against the lunacy of this super woke culture. Are you seeing this too?
Yeah, and I harken back to an interview I did with Megyn Kelly when she first launched her podcast. I'll never forget this line. She's like, Bobby, this is not a left-right problem. This is a small subsection of the left that has become so annoying. We call them the woke, that, like, they're not mighty in size. They don't represent most of the country. What they do is they control forms of messaging. They're able to hijack perception because they have a stranglehold on the media, social media, for a while, entertainment, sports. So we're just now seeing people push back. What I believe is going on is people never really bought into this sort of woke movement and cancel culture, but it seemed that way because that was what the forms of messaging said the country believed. There's a study, I believe, by the post-millennial that said only like 8% of the electorate actually agree with what has come to define the woke, and that is like all these terms like equity and anti-racist. So I think Chris Rock most notably said it last week, and Woody Harrelson and Bill Maher, they've realized that progressive movement never ends, right? It keeps on progressing. It starts with a real issue. Then once that real issue is solved, they have to keep on progressing. So what I believe has happened is entertainers are finally like, wait a minute, we've supported this long enough. This thing's never going to end. It started out in good faith, and now it's really just become insanity. I mean, you have books getting rewritten because they mentioned the word crazy because that's supposedly offensive to mentally ill people. I mean, it's just gone way too far. I think Harrelson, Chris Rock, and Maher finally realized that.
Bobby, where can we find more of your work?
Outkick.com. You can follow me on Twitter and whatever's coming up. Hopefully, I come back on this show and your listeners can get to know me from here.
Yeah, man, we would love that.
Yeah, let's do it again, man.
Kyle tweets in, before we let you go, Bobby, Kyle tweets in about the ridiculous things with COVID. Let's not forget about the one-way stickers that were on the floor at Walmart and grocery stores. We definitely have to add that to the list. Bobby, thanks so much, man. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday morning at 8. Learn the answers to frequently asked financial questions and get the latest investment news to help you get the most of your money. Visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever. So call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? We can help. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I want to talk about your discomfort. Did you know that your feet have a quarter of all the bones in your whole body? With 4 arches, 33 joints, and over 100 ligaments and tendons in each foot, it's no wonder so many people suffer from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Stop throwing your money away on all those over-the-counter products and expensive shoes that just can't do what the Good Feet store can. At America's Arch Support Store, we teach you everything you need to know about how our patented 3-step system will work to solve your problems so you can get back to living the life you love without your pain getting in the way. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and trade in those bad feet for some good feet. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet store. We're in Fishers and Greenwood. Call 829-1040 or visit goodfeet.com to make your appointment today. Get back to doing what you love with Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
What do student athletes learn in the second classroom of high school sports? So much more than just a game. I'm Jeannie Ulmer.
And I'm Chris Kaufman. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
Through education-based athletics, student-athletes learn the courage to face challenges. They realize the importance of persevering through trials and failures. They discover the drive to achieve their goals.
They gain something so much more valuable than wins and losses. They develop grit and integrity.
They grow so much more than their athletic skills. They learn daily lessons in teamwork, accountability, and respect.
These are some of life's most important lessons, and high school sports teach every one of them every day. Buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events and support student athletes learning the values and skills they need on the playing field and beyond.
This is helping student athletes grow as people. This is the purpose of high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Join WIBC and Shepherd Community Center as we partner with Gleaners to distribute food to the community the first and third Friday of every month. For more information, head over to WIBC.com.
All right, Matt Baer, what's a good word?
South Side, 2 problems on eastbound 465. First encountered as a crash blocking the right shoulder at I-70. Then a medical emergency at Man Road, also blocking the right shoulder. Stop and go traffic from I-70 to Harding. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
50 degrees at the American Standard Heating Weather Center here at 93 WIBC.
So are we we don't have time to give away KISS tickets right now, do we?
No.
We went along with Bobby Burke from Outback. Outback sounds good, actually. Cheese fries are wonderful. Outkick.
Yes.
And we're going to do that after 4 o'clock.
We have
KISS
a
ticket.
loaded 4 o'clock hour. We have got the biggest stories of the day, including a killing right in the heart of downtown by the convention center.
Awful.
We've got KISS tickets to give away, and we've got Biden madness coming up this hour.
By the way, like if you want to go to this KISS concert at Cambridge Fieldhouse, it's in November. I mean, you're like, if you want to sit front row, it's like $1,400.
Front row.
Yeah.
Close enough to where, like, you'll see the pyro and
see the blood, the fake blood dripping out of Gene Simmons' mouth and tongue. I've seen KISS before; they rock. And there's a part. It's just fake blood all over the place.
Okay, so sometime in the next 30 minutes, I promise you, we're going to give away tickets to go see KISS.
All right,
but you got to stick around and hang out with us. We're going to have a good time. We got Biden madness on the way.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You remember the road trip you took together? The music you listened to, the laughter you shared. Visit Shane Company for a gift as special as your memories. Beautifully designed jewelry crafted with attention to every detail. With the largest selection of styles and a range of prices, it'll be easy to find a meaningful gift for someone special in your life. A ring is always a beloved gift. Choose a stylish band, a signet ring, or a 3-stone anniversary ring. To celebrate a year together, or a lifetime of love, give a gift with diamonds, like diamond stud earrings. We offer both natural and lab-grown diamonds. Jewelry featuring a colorful gemstone makes a wonderful gift because it's so personal. Every stone has unique properties and its own symbolic meaning. Shane Company sources the most beautiful gemstones from around the world, so you have the best selection to choose from. Sapphires in over a dozen colors, opals, rubies, and more. When you give your gift, it'll be another special moment to remember.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9999 $99.93. Or visit Truehold.com, the smarter, fastest way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Most people approaching retirement age are on the lookout for ways to save money. And when it comes to saving on your Medicare prescriptions, look no further than your neighborhood Walgreens. We're a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. Fill your prescriptions at a Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens participates with the AARP Medicare RX from United Healthcare, WellCare, and Cigna. Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swanco's basement waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or SwancoLLC.com.
My name is Sophie.
Sasha. Robert. Ron. And I'm alive thanks to my nurse practitioner.
My nurse practitioner saved me from a lifelong heart condition.
She prescribed the right medication. My NP diagnosed my multi-organ failure.
My NP listens.
She saved my life. Twice. And I will always be grateful.
To learn why millions of people choose NPs, visit us at wechoosenps.org.
Paid for by AANP.
If your leaky chimney is at it again, there's only one place to call. That's Chimney Solutions. Chimney Solutions has over 20 years of experience inspecting, sweeping, and troubleshooting chimney systems. From repairing your masonry to waterproofing to chimney caps, they handle it all with craftsmanship guarantees. The Chimney Solutions team is Chimney Safety Institute of America certified and members of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. Call Chimney Solutions today at 317-757-6979. Online at chimneyindy.com. That's Chimney Solutions.
Coming up in 2 minutes, IMPD is investigating a shooting near Lucas Oil Stadium last night, why Greenwood High School students weren't in the classroom today, and a new ordinance to protect dogs and other domestic pets in Indianapolis. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The power to ban TikTok. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A new Senate bill would give the administration the authority to prohibit technology over national security risks, including TikTok, which is owned by Chinese tech giant ByteDance.
The Chinese Communist Party has proven over the last few years that is willing to lie about just about everything.
Senate Minority Whip John Thune.
It's safe to assume that if the CCP is willing to lie about a spy balloon and cover up the origins of the worst pandemic in 100 years, they'll lie about using TikTok to spy on American citizens.
He's a co-sponsor of the bill led by Democratic Senator Mark Warner, who chairs the Intelligence Committee. TikTok has recently been banned from government devices at the federal level and in multiple states. The White House says it supports the new bipartisan bill. Earlier, China's new foreign minister calling Washington's view of Beijing distorted and warning there's a risk of conflict without a change in attitude. Federal investigators just announcing a special investigation of Norfolk Southern's safety practices and culture, in addition to the ongoing probes of several incidents in Ohio. The NTSB also urging the company to take immediate action to review and assess its safety practices. This a day after the railroad announced a plan aimed at enhancing safety. 2 of the 4 Americans kidnapped in Mexico Friday have been found dead in a field. 2 others in a house nearby, and they are now back in the U.S.
Attacks on U.S. citizens are unacceptable, no matter where or under what circumstances they happen.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says U.S. officials remain in touch with Mexican counterparts as the investigation continues. Investigators think this may be a case of mistaken identity involving cartel violence. A relative says the Americans had traveled from South Carolina for one of them to make a return trip to Mexico for a cosmetic procedure. Fed jitters on Wall Street. The Dow drops 574. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Where you may have seen the cops last night. Sunny, about 50 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar with some clouds that'll move in later tonight, low of 30. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A man was shot and killed outside of Lucas Oil Stadium late Monday night on Capitol Avenue. John Hayrick reports.
IMPD Public Information Officer William Young says they're still trying to find the shooter and they could use your help.
In regards to this particular case, if you have information, please reach out to our homicide investigators. And you can do that by dialing 317-327-3475.
Or you can call Crime Stoppers too, he says. Police believe the shooter ran into the convention center for a short amount of time and then left, so it was placed on a brief lockdown. No events were scheduled Monday night at the stadium. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Greenwood High School students are home for an e-learning day after some students broke in and set off fire extinguishers last night. The school is working with the fire department to clean up the vandalism. The police department's also involved. They're trying to figure out who's responsible. After school activities are not canceled, though, the administration also says the high school should reopen tomorrow. President Joe Biden will release his budget proposal this week, which includes increasing taxes on people who make $400,000 or more. Indiana Senator Mike Braun doesn't believe that's actually going to fix the issue.
It's never really moved the needle much in terms of covering deficits. Lowering your spending to meet historical averages of what we raise as revenue is the only way you're going to solve it for entitlements or even the small part that we still call discretionary.
Braun on Fox's Mornings with Maria. President Biden calls that part of the proposal the billionaire's tax. City leaders in Indianapolis have banned the sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits at commercial pet stores. The ordinance protects both animals and consumers, says Erin Huang, former state director of the Humane Society. She tells Wish TV.
Because then you have people already spending thousands of dollars on a dog at a pet store and then having massive vet bills if this puppy ends up being sick, which can happen.
She says shipping puppies from puppy mills can be bad for their immune system. The hope of the ordinance is to encourage more people to adopt from local animal shelters. Pet stores have 2 years to comply with the new ordinance. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Hey, Tamer and Nigel for Window Nation. Have you noticed your energy costs have been rising dramatically? Nationwide, energy prices have increased over 14% since last year. It isn't too late to do something to fix your high energy bills. Beat the spring rush with the last month of off-season pricing at Window Nation. Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy with 0 down payment, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. New windows will pay for themselves with the energy savings on your energy bills, and you will pay nothing for 2 full years with 0% financing, saving you hundreds of dollars.
Go with the window company that has installed nearly 2 million windows, including mine. 866-90-NATION. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. No limit. Plus, no down payment, no payments, no interest for 24 months. This offer won't last long. Call Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Having a party on the right shoulder here on the southwest side. It's eastbound 465. First crash right shoulder at I-70. Then a medical emergency at Man Road, eastbound 465. Also on the right side of the interstate. This traffic is stopped from I-70 to Man Road. Long delay of slow traffic eastbound 72 downtown. That is Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 stop and go from West Street to the North Split. And reports of somebody getting hit by a car, Rural Street of Washington. Be careful in there. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for the lowest prices and up to $5,000 back on top appliance brands like Electrolux. Learn more at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance expert since 1930. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a breezy and colder night tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows falling into the low 30s. Wednesday will be near normal with highs rising into the mid-40s under mostly cloudy skies with breezy winds sticking around. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! So let's give away these KISS tickets before we get started with some of the heavier news items in this segment. Hammer, looking for caller 9 right now, 239-9393 if you want to go see KISS at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Saturday, November 25th, thanks to Live Nation.
be caller 923-99393, but we're going to make you work for it, right?
We got a fun little game we're going to play, but you have to be caller number 9 just to play the game. So 239-9393. We'll take caller number 9 here in just a moment. We've got Allison over here doing like a million things, so just be patient. She'll get to caller number 9 here in just a moment. But Nigel, let's talk about what happened downtown last night. Somebody was killed, and the body was basically steps away from Lucas Oil Stadium. And nobody knows who did it. An arrest has not been made. At one point, the convention center had to be shut down as the police did a sweep through the convention center looking for the gunman.
Well, you go to WIBC.com, and the statement from police says it didn't happen. The shooting didn't happen. Somebody was shot and killed, right? So, but it did not happen in the convention center, but or did it happen inside of Lucas Oil Stadium? But they do have info that leads them to believe that the suspect did go inside at some point to convention center, and that's why they shut it down, right?
And this feels like this should be a big deal. Like, with all due respect to Will Ferrell, and I enjoy Will Ferrell's movies, I have heard more about Will Ferrell being at the Pacers game last night than I have the fact that the convention center had to be shut down, locked in, and police had to swarm in looking for the gunman.
By the way, there was a huge crowd downtown last night at the Pacer game. I know that Lucas Oil and Gamebridge aren't exactly in close proximity to each other, but I'm sure, this was probably around the time when the game was letting out and civilians and people were walking around or driving out of the city.
And when you look at what's transpiring in the city right now, the weather's been pretty decent. You had a high-profile Pacers game last night. The Sixers, they've got some stars, the joint was pretty packed. People going out to dinners and date nights and whatnot. At least 5 people shot, 1 stabbed, and 3 killed yesterday. Not over the weekend. This was yesterday in Indianapolis.
3 killed.
1 person right there, downtown, by the convention center, on basically the steps of Lucas Oil Stadium. So I talked about this with Rob when I jumped on with Casey and Kendall earlier today. Where are the business leaders? Where are these city leaders who are outraged? Where's the anger? Because there needs to be some. Because whenever the state legislature talks about abortion, hot damn, my phone blows up.
Boy.
I've got people from Visit Indy texting me all hours of the night, and they're right. And they're telling me, man, all these businesses, they're going to leave. They're going to cancel. Our phones are ringing off the hook.
Conventions.
These conventions, they don't want to come to Indianapolis because of what might happen with abortion. Well, how about we focus on the crime? Because the convention center had to be locked last night while the police were looking for a gunman. And they never found said gunman. And somebody died right downtown near Lucas Oil Stadium. We're not talking about a back alley somewhere. We're talking about high-profile areas in Indianapolis. I was fighting with a group of losers when you were on vacation, Nigel, on social media. And they were trying to show me the numbers. Well, technically, downtown is one of the safest places to be. Rabble, rabble. And I'm trying to make these people understand, look at the crime that happens in the high-profile tourist areas here. You're not supposed to have any in these type of areas. Like when you go to Las Vegas has crime, but very rarely does somebody get gunned down in cold blood in front of the Bellagio fountains. Here in Indianapolis, those 3 Dutch soldiers, 2 were shot and killed. The other one was wounded. This was in the bar district in front of the Hampton Inn. We had a big mass shooting take place in front of Steak and Shake a number of years ago.
How about that woman, the Indy mother that was killed early in the summer of 2020 in the canal?
Yes. When we hosted all of March Madness, one of the opposing team's broadcasters was assaulted walking on the canal. These are our high-profile tourist areas. Monument Circle, when Rob and I came down here that one Saturday night where certain members tried to tell us that nothing happened, but we saw 20 police cars in the circle blocked off. This is not supposed to happen in your tourist areas. but Joe Hogsett is allowing that to happen in Indianapolis. And unfortunately, it's not just here. Take a listen to this. I'm going to play you a soundbite. This is the chief of police in Washington, D.C.
What we got to do, if we really want to see homicides go down, is keep bad guys with guns in jail. Because when they're in jail, they can't be in community shooting people. So when people talk about what we're going to do different or what we should do different, what we need to do different, that's the thing that we need to do different. We need to keep violent people in jail. Right now, the average homicide suspect has been arrested 11 times prior to them committing a homicide. That is a problem. That is a problem.
11.
Wow. Well, what a novel concept, keeping violent criminals in jail instead of slapping a GPS monitor on them and telling them to go about their business.
So
it's pretty common here in Indianapolis.
This is embarrassing. And I want to hear some of these city leaders. Where are the leaders from Lilly? Where are all the people that have businesses downtown going, something needs to be done here? Yeah, I get it. Everybody gets their panties in a wad when we talk about abortion and legislation stuff. But when people are being shot in front of our hotels, people are being shot in front of our football stadiums, our convention centers are being locked. To me, this is a much bigger issue for the city leaders of Indianapolis to address, and I'm not hearing anything. So, Allison, we've got caller number 9 standing by, right? Okay, so if we're going to do this, let's do this right. We're going to play a little game for these KISS tickets called Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons.
I want to dance with somebody. And now, time to play Gene Simmons.
Hi, this is Gene Simmons, and I'm in a band that gets more chicks than you do. I'm in KISS, and you're not.
Or Richard Simmons. Do you love Barbara Streisand? Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
All right, caller number 9 was Vic. Vic, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. How you doing?
Vic.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Man, we're doing good. So this is how the game's going to work. We're going to give you a fact about someone. It will either be a fact about Gene Simmons of KISS or exercise icon Richard Simmons. You get 3 out of 5 correct, we're going to give you the tickets, okay?
Sounds good to me.
All right, here we go. Number 1 has a long tongue. Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons?
I'm definitely going with Gene on that one.
Gene, all right. We're off and running. There's number 1. Number 2.
It's like a mutant cow tongue.
Executive producer of Sweatin' to the Oldies. Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons?
Oh, one of my all-time favorites, Richard Simmons.
Yes, yes. 2 down, 1 to go. Get this correct, we'll give you the tickets. Is married to softcore porn queen Shannon Tweed. Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons?
Good old Gene Simmons.
There we go.
All right. Congratulations, Vic.
My man, Vic.
By the way, this is Vic Ferrari from the chat. Just wanted to say, hey, guys.
Okay, from YouTube chatter.
What's he? Who is
Yes.
Nigel doesn't look at the YouTube chat. I got you, Vic. I know who you are. I'm looking at the YouTube chat.
I didn't hear him say
right
YouTube
now.
chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vic Ferrari, like Mike Honcho. It's my stage name.
Well, we got a Mike Honcho reference in there. We got a Shannon Tweed reference in there. I feel like we got a lot accomplished here. Vic, hang on the line, and Allison will take care of you, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You got it. And thank you to Live Nation. KISS, Gamebridge Fieldhouse, Saturday, November 25th. You knew all of those answers, didn't you, Matt?
Oh, every one of them. Yeah, I'm an encyclopedia of knowledge here. We're looking at the southwest side, southbound 465. This medical emergency just cleared as we speak at Man Road. This is a good thing. Slow back to I-70, then stopped to Sam Jones Expressway because in the southbound lanes there is a crash at I-70. They just took the 2 right lanes, stopping traffic to Sam Jones Expressway. Going to take you a minute to get through that. Eastbound 70, stop and go road to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's Indiana. Start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl. A fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg for breakfast at participating Wendy's, limited time only. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And if you did not get through, relax. We've got more chances for you to win KISS tickets all through the week this week. And you heard Vic. There's a lot of ways you can reach out to us. We've got the YouTube stream up from the WIBC YouTube channel. There's a live chat there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit us up at Hammer and Nigel. And speaking of Twitter, coming up here in just a little bit, your votes will be needed for Biden madness. That's coming up here in about 30 minutes. But next, it's America's favorite game sensation, Is This Anything? It's 50 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Attention men, here's a great way to have more fun in bed and save money. If you want to take something like Viagra, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Yes, $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men to improve their performance and confidence. You will love them. And now, for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get 50 or more for around $100. You'll save hundreds of dollars off retail prices. That's enough to buy your date a nice dinner. Don't pay expensive prices for Viagra. Call now, order 50 or more of our blue pills, and pay as little as $2 a pill and save hundreds of dollars. Call anytime for confidential shipping.
Call Steelman Pills now at 800-BUY-BLUE. 800-BUY-BLUE. 800-BUY-BLUE.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
I really appreciate the team and the coaches at Exercise Inc. I've been with Exercise Inc. for a number of years now. They get me the physical exercise my body needs every week, and it only takes 20 minutes. So if you're looking for something different, you're not looking to join one of those giant big box gyms with loud music and mirrors everywhere. There's no socializing with Exercise Inc. It's just you and your trainer. And by the way, your trainer, I love it because they hold you accountable, not only for the physical activity that you're getting inside the gym, but also what you need to be doing outside the gym in terms of your diet and staying on track with your health goals. The studio is always 61 degrees, so you never sweat. You get your workout in 20 minutes. You go right back to work without having to take a shower. You got to love that. With Exercise Inc., I just feel better. I lost weight, I've built muscle, and I have more energy. Check out all the success stories at exerciseinc.com. They have 4 locations: Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, and Zionsville. Exercise Inc. Change your life in 20 minutes a week.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Hello, how are you? Here's Hammer, and how we play Is This Anything?
I'll run some stories by Big Nige. He will break down all the information, and he will give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not? We start with this. Is this anything? Joe Rogan has been estranged from his dad since the 70s.
Yeah.
Over the years, Joe has called him psychotic and abusive. His father and sister have responded.
Lied about me. Your father. Tired of it, Joe. Just had enough. If you can't talk to me face to face, you're a punk ass. That's all you are. You got all the money, everything, but you know what you don't have? You don't have no heart. You ain't got two balls. 81 years old. You couldn't handle this guy right here. You owe me a big apology.
Joe, you were taken away at a very young age. Unfortunately, you did not get to grow up with the man that we were fortunate enough to grow up with, that my kids are fortunate enough to grow up with, because you will never know what you have missed out on in life. I have a box, Pandora's box, and if I open it, Joe, things would get really ugly. But see, we don't roll that way.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I know why Joe Rogan doesn't want to talk to his family anymore. I think I know why they're estranged. But what, his sister's like threatening him with blackmail, a Pandora's box. So alleging probably or basically saying I've got info on you.
I've got dirt.
I've got pictures. Give me a break. Yeah, I and I like Joe Rogan. By the way, I think he's a pretty prolific podcaster. He's good at what he does. Got big guests and
that aside, his UFC
money.
stuff is fun, man.
Yeah.
He's a bucket of energy.
And I can definitely understand why. Like, I watched that video. His dad included clips of Joe trash talking him, and they were older clips, like kind of based on Joe's setup and his personal appearance. It seemed like they were older clips, but because I haven't really, don't know much about the relationship with him and his dad, and it's sad. Sad. His dad is pushing 80s. He's in his 80s, and you don't have a relationship with your successful son. Wouldn't you want to share that with him? But it doesn't sound like they, by the sound and the looks of this video, I completely understand the estrangement, if you will.
Remember that scene in the movie Joe Dirt where he finally meets his parents and they have this ceramic clown business and the old man's got a greasy mullet. Look at him, man. He's doing fine. Kind of got the same vibes right here from the Rogan parents. Is this anything?
Good reference. I would not forgot about the ceramic clown business.
Yes. When you're down, look at a clown.
It struck me as funny for some reason. I forgot about that.
Is this anything? A TikToker who asks random people to do a truth or dare got a teenager to call his dad and say he's thankful for him.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Truth or dare?
Dare.
I dare you to call your dad and tell him you're thankful for him.
All right, got you.
What's going on?
I just wanted to tell you I'm thankful for you.
Why are you doing that?
Because you do a lot for me and I never give anything in return.
Well, you just made my day. Thank you for the call, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you tonight.
All right, love you. Bye.
And Todd Rakita wants to get rid of TikTok with beautiful, special, heartwarming content like that? Oh, so that's actually some positive things to come out of social media. That's one out of
8,554,000.
The guy, pooping in a bucket in the alley and waving hi to the person filming him. That's more along the lines of what I think of TikTok, that kind of content. But are you like, I'm an I love you guy. I'm an I love you dad. You know what I mean? And I could tell my son, especially getting older. And I'll say, I'll put him to bed, or he'll get into bed. I go, I love you, buddy. And he'll go, like, I can tell he's getting to that point where it's starting to slip away a little bit, and it's kind of sad.
Right.
But I never hesitate. My dad never hesitated to tell me that he loved me. And that was kind of heartwarming to see that kind of content. Finally, something positive to come out of TikTok.
Remember when I called my wife on this show and I told her that I loved her? Do you remember the response I got back in return?
I think she called you fat ass, didn't
she? Shut up, fat ass, I believe was the statement that I received in return. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Pat Sullivan here. Do gurgling pipes and running toilets keep you up at night? Become a member at Hope Plumbing and have the comfort of knowing you have a plumber on call. For only $8 a month, you get the ease of having your own plumber on hand, a 10% discount on all plumbing services, 1 annual free mainline cleaning, 1 annual plumbing safety inspection, and all the trip charges waived. Call Hope Plumbing today and become a member to start saving big.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese.
Lunch is ready.
He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Guy Relford here. Time again for the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the State Fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection gear, plus great displays of Americana. Come see us this weekend at the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show, Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 9 to 4. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See you there.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why they weren't in class. Sunny, 50 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on your radar with a low of 30 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Vandalism kept Greenwood High School students home for an e-learning day Tuesday. Parker Carlson reports.
Overnight, some kids broke into the Greenwood High School and set the fire extinguishers loose, causing enough of a mess to warrant closing the school Tuesday. The district is working with the fire department to clean up the high school, but they're also working with the police to find the ones responsible. While students are on an e-learning day, after-school activities will continue as normal, and students will be returning to in-person learning Wednesday. Anyone with info into the vandalism is asked to contact the police department. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There was a fatal shooting near Lucas Oil Stadium last night. IMPD still looking for their suspect.
The information led officers to believe that the suspect ran inside of the convention center. Again, we do not have a suspect in custody at this time.
Public Information Officer William Young, he says surveillance footage from the convention center showed that suspect getting into a building and leaving it. The cops are still trying to find him. If you know anything, give him a call. The U.S. is not seeking conflict with China.
What we're seeking is competition, and we've been very clear about that these past 2 years.
That's what White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in response to a top Chinese official statement that the two countries are heading toward confrontation and conflict unless America changes course. President Biden's administration is working closely with the Mexican government to ensure justice is served after 4 Americans were kidnapped in northern Mexico this week. 2 of those victims were found dead. The other 2 are being returned home. Family members say they had traveled there for a medical procedure from South Carolina. Next time you go to grab a snack from the fridge, maybe check for a snake underneath. An exotic python was found under someone's fridge in Jersey City, New Jersey, after it slithered in from someone else's apartment. The snake, whose name is Banana, was a hybrid West African ball python, according to the Liberty Humane Society, and it's not dangerous to humans and is also legal to have as a pet. Banana is now in an animal shelter to be put up for adoption. Rough day on the market. The Dow dropping 574 to 32,856. The Nasdaq dropping 145 to 11,530, and the S&P 500 down 62 to 3,986. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
The winter blues are almost behind us. We can't wait to get out of the house and be more active. It sounds great, but your achy joints don't agree. There's time right now to do something about that. Tony Katz here. Stop with the steroids. Stop with the possible surgery chatter. Now there's a better way to get lasting relief. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain. QC Kinetics uses healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then placed directly in your achy joints. It can restore and repair that damaged tissue and get you moving again without pain. The old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. Talk to QC Kinetics today. The consultation is free. The call is free. You have nothing to lose, and the timing is right for you to enjoy the best time of the year. Call QC Kinetics now for a totally free consultation with medical professionals in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic at 4:33, here's Matt Bear.
Crash clear, southwest side, southbound 465 and I-70. Everything in those eastbound, southbound lanes on the southwest side have flushed out. We are looking at inbound 65 stop and go, 21st Street to the north split. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from Holt Road all the way to Meridian, Illinois. Eastbound 465 stop and go on the northeast side, Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go with pros, go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a breezy and colder night tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows falling into the low 30s. Wednesday will be near normal with highs rising into the mid-40s under mostly cloudy skies with breezy winds sticking around. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
All right, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Just real quick, I wanted to read you this headline from the Associated Press about the January 6th footage that was given to Tucker Carlson. He released some of the footage last night. I don't know if it was all of it. Maybe there's more that we haven't seen.
Said he's got more tonight.
He said he's got more tonight. Okay, and that's why Chuck Schumer was going, they should not let him speak tonight. They should not. Fox News should not let Tucker Carlson on TV tonight. I mean, the translation is there. Fox News should not allow Tucker to destroy our January 6th narrative. But listen to this headline on the Associated Press. Fox News, Tucker Carlson is using thousands of hours of January 6th security footage released to him by the GOP to explain away the deadly Capitol attack, linking the Republican Party ever more closely to pro-Trump conspiracy theories about the 2021 riot.
Okay.
I mean, deadly? Yeah, I'm sorry, the only person that died was a Trump supporter who Tucker Carlson referred to as a murder. Up close, unarmed Trump supporter, Ashley Babbitt, at the Capitol. She was a veteran. The only person that died as a result of anything that happened was Ashley Babbitt, a Trump supporter. Nobody's throwing any, nobody's wearing the Ashley Babbitt's name on their back.
And the other folks that passed away that happened to be there January 6th, they died the following days, and there's no documentation anywhere that can prove that the stress or the chaos or the blunt force or whatever caused them any sort of death, right?
But you see how the Associated Press is trying to paint with a broad stroke the entire Republican Party being closely tied to Donald Trump and his quote-unquote conspiracy theories about the 2021 riot. No, what Tucker Carlson did and that footage that he has destroys narratives. It just destroys the January 6th committee's narrative. They had access to all this footage. They had access to the QAnon shaman being toured around the Capitol when he's in prison for multiple years now. Did his defense team have access to that footage? He looked more like a tourist and not a terrorist trying to commit insurrection. It's these kind of this kind of media bias that drives me nuts.
Especially coming from CBS. CBS this morning, I literally thought whoever does their morning show was going to cry. I thought I was going to see grown-ass man tears coming down. And again, this is the same group that said that what happened in every major city in America in 2020 was peaceful. But what happened on January 6th, we were this close to becoming some sort of third world country and democracy was going to be overran.
And more damage was done. More lives were lost during the 2020 Summer of Love social justice riots than anything coming close to the Capitol riots.
I'll do you one better. Alec Baldwin has killed more people than anybody that stormed the Capitol that day. Alec Baldwin is responsible for more deaths than anybody that stormed into the Capitol that day. And Tucker Carlson has more video tonight. The other funny thing that I keep seeing on social media is that, well, Tucker Carlson, he's using edited, selected video. Yeah, it's selected because it wasn't shown in the January 6th committee. This was the stuff that is pretty important.
The select committee chose to purposely leave all the stuff out that he's pointing out.
Right. They knew damn well that the senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley, wasn't the only one running to get out of there. The orders were for everybody to run and get out. There's a group of like 20 to 25 people running. Josh Hawley's like the last one getting out, but they made it look like he was scared for his life. And that controversial Capitol police officer that does all the interviews called Josh Hawley a witch or something that rhymes with it. So there's so much stuff, and I'm curious to see what they have tonight. Speaking of witches or things that rhyme with it, Kim Yo Jong. This is the sister of Fat Boy.
KO.
The sister of Kim Jong-un warning the United States that you better not get squirrely because we will come at you. The influential sister of Fat Boy said that her country is ready to take, quote, quick, overwhelming action against the United States and South Korea if the United States does any more testing along their region.
Yeah, they flew, I think the United States flew like a B-52 bomber close to North Korea doing testing with in conjunction with South Korea, and it's pissing them off a little bit.
So this woman is threatening people?
But whatever. I mean, if they've been doing that, that's nothing new.
The Rock, your thoughts on Kim Yo Jong?
Shut up, bitch!
Thank you. I mean, that's where we're at, right? The words of The Rock should be played on every speaker, top of every mountain in regards to Fat Boy's sister. Joe Biden about to reinstate Donald Trump's border policy on detentions again. Yeah. This is according to the New York Times. The Biden administration is considering reviving the practice of detaining migrant families who cross the border illegally. This is the same policy that Biden shut down over the past 2 years because he wanted a more humane way of doing things.
And this is not a small thing either. So, I mean, this New York Times article goes on to say the move, no final decision has been made, but it would be a stark reversal for President Biden, who came into office promising to adopt a more compassionate approach. So this thing that they're talking about right here, it's not a small change. It's an end to catch and release. Those policies that Donald Trump ended, the catch and release policies, he ended those. Joe Biden reinstated 2 years ago when he was elected, and now he's getting ready to pull back and reinstate those policies or end those policies again.
So when I see the phrase detaining migrant families, is that fancy talk for kids in cages? Because I'm old enough to remember when, boy, Donald Trump was just the devil for putting migrant families in the detention center, even though it was Joe Biden and Barack Obama who built the cages in the first place.
Obama deported a crap load of illegals during his presidency. And this isn't the first. This is, I don't know what's gotten into Biden here. I think he knows the overwhelming flow of fentanyl into the country is coming from the southern border. He talked about it during the State of the Union address, although he didn't mention the southern border. He just talked about the fentanyl crisis. Well, it's your fault, your policies. A little bit more from the New York Times. President Biden took office vowing to restore a humane approach to the border crisis after his predecessor, former Donald J. Trump, introducing a series of harsh immigration policies, including separation of migrant children from the parents. But as the Biden administration has struggled to quell a surge of migrants, that's about to change. And here's the translation. More rational control of the border. What Biden is doing is something we've been talking about for a long time. You have to disincentivize trafficking. You have to disincentivize people from illegally crossing to get to sanctuary cities with free health care and free driver, being able to vote in elections. So it's funny because this Times article, this is my favorite part. Mr. Biden's tough new measures have infuriated advocates who say the president is breaking campaign promises and embracing a Trump-era approach to immigration. Well, you know why they're infuriated? It's because Trump's policies worked.
Bingo.
That's it. That's why they're infuriated. Biden knows it, and they know they have to do something, and nothing's happened yet. And this Times article says no decisions have been made, but we'll see. I mean, between this and Biden, I forget if we talked about this yesterday, but Biden has been siding with Republicans on blocking Washington, D.C.'s criminal reform bill. I mean, this is shit. It sends Schumer and company into just a complete tailspin. Go reverting back to Donald Trump era border policies.
Having to admit something that the Orange Man did was effective and worked. Interesting. If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, if you need a reason to tip one back, it's National Cereal Day today. National Cereal Day.
Honey, I'm getting drunk. It's National Cereal Day.
Okay. Like, coming from you, though, I bet your wife, Lindsay, was probably like, all right. Like, every day she wakes up knowing you're going to say it's something else. Honey, it's National Flamingo Day. All right, I'll call an Uber. National Cereal Day. If I told you right now you can only have one box of cereal for the rest of your life, Nigel, what is it?
Grams.
Golden Grams?
Golden Grams.
Golden Grams
I would
are
say
good.
Golden Grams is probably it.
I had an embarrassingly large bowl of Cocoa Krispies the other night.
Cocoa Krispies. You actually buy boxes of Cocoa Krispies?
Yeah.
It just seems like something that for the little kids that they would like. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. The coupon lady had like a sale where you got it for free, basically.
Okay.
So I poured that thing in the bowl, and it wasn't big enough. I had to get a bigger bowl, and 2 servings, and the box was done. 2 servings.
And the box was done?
The box was done.
Yeah, that's a little embarrassing. Or actually impressive.
Thank
Maybe
you.
Impressive is a better word to use there.
And now it's time for great moments in cereal history in the episode of The Simpsons where a child got sick trying Krusty the Clown cereal.
What about that little boy who got appendicitis from eating your cereal?
To prove that this is harmless, I will personally eat one. See, there's nothing. Yeah! Oh, boy! This thing is shredding my insides.
And a little nugget from my childhood here.
Oh, boy.
Do you remember Mr. T cereal?
Sure, of course. That's what
Pee-wee
was eating.
Right.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
We all remember Pee-wee, but do you remember the god-awful TV commercial for it? Where
I'm trying to think.
The guy singing the jingle sounds like me doing a Hammer and Nigel records. Like, you can tell he's not qualified to do this. And listen closely, you can tell they've only paid Mr. T to say 2 words, and they just play the same audio over and over.
Teaming up with Mr. T cereal. It's getting on the team that knows how cool breakfast can be. You get a crispy corn taste with a touch of brown sugar. Teaming up with Mr. T. It's cool. Teaming up with Mr. T. Golden sweet crispy teas. One bite and you're gonna be eating with a team that's teaming up with Mr. T. It's cool. Teaming up with Mr. T.
It's cool. And you know, Mr. T looked at them. I'm only saying it one time. I pity the fool who made me say it twice.
This is some Biden madness, man.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Biden madness.
Do it
next.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
If you're planning for retirement, you need a solid team behind you to help you navigate your retirement goals. That's Howard Bailey Financial. They're an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
Working with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in your mission to have the best life in retirement. These are the last financial team members you're ever going to need, because once you work with them, you're not going to want to go anywhere else. The Howard Bailey team, they will help customize whatever your vision of retirement is, whether that's full-on retirement, work optional lifestyle, maybe being a snowbird for the winter months in Florida, coming back, whatever it is. Make plans today to meet with the Howard Bailey team and see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Governor Holcomb, I love how high school sports teach the importance of the journey.
I couldn't agree more, Commissioner Neidig. Before any measure of success is achieved, like making a winning play or earning a state championship, student athletes go on an essential journey that humbles and teaches them every step of the way.
The lessons learned along the journey of high school sports are about so much more than just the game. Student athletes learn how to persevere through adversity, never give up, and to get better every day.
This second classroom teaches the skills, behaviors, and attitudes student athletes need to be successful on the playing field and in life.
There's no better training ground for today's teens on their way to becoming tomorrow's leaders. Support the vital work of education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is keeping education in front of athletics. This is the journey of high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You know, Low T Center really has reinvented men's health care. They exclusively specialize in men's wellness, and it's not just about testosterone at the Low T Center. Low T exclusively specializes in all your levels, not just testosterone. They determine the cause of any symptoms that you're having and whether you're a candidate for Low T or maybe something else like low thyroid or sleep apnea.
The Low T Center really is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. Get that annual wellness exam done at the Low T Center, because in addition to testosterone things, they can check you for prostate issues, thyroid issues, liver and kidney function, cholesterol, glucose levels, and more. So what are you waiting for? Make that appointment right now at the Low T Center. The best part, most health insurance is covered, and worst case scenario, it's less than $100 cash pay. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our Rhino Shield has been on for 8 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
Eastbound 465 stop and go, Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Eastbound 70 downtown, long delay here in pockets from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 jams at 21st. Crash Kentucky Avenue at McCarty. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
50 degrees at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, and let's do Biden madness.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
And by the way, I don't know who won yesterday's matchup. I haven't checked. Purposely wanted to be surprised.
Well,
I have no idea.
Let's check the totals. Now, for those of you joining us, every day we take 2 clips of Joe Biden. We play them head-to-head. You vote on Twitter for the most ridiculous one you want to advance in our tournament. Yesterday, we had the number 11 seed, where Joe Biden says the best way to stay safe in a hurricane is to get vaxxed.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
Mr. President, I don't have a roof. I'm up to my crank in ocean water. What do you suggest?
Yeah. Did you get the jab?
Should be fine.
You're going to be okay if you get that vaccine.
That was the 11 seed against the number 6 seed, where Joe Biden was giving a well-thought-out and concise speech trying to fire up his base.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Let me guess. Can I guess before you give us the results?
Sure.
True international pressure.
It was a blowout.
Was it?
But the winner was...
True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure.
So it will move on in the tournament, which brings us to today's matchup. Now, they say in March Madness every year, a 12 upsets a 5. We've got a 12 against a 5 here today.
All right.
Now, the 12 seed is new. This is something that just happened yesterday, but it's in the field. Joe Biden, speaking at the International Association of Firefighters, talking about an aneurysm that he once had.
And I had these terrible headaches, was diagnosed with having anyway, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain.
Quote, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times to see if I had a brain.
You know why that clip is very strong? Is not only the line you just repeated, but the anyway.
We got it anyway. Can we hear that one more time, yeah. Allison, the 12 seed?
I had these terrible headaches, was diagnosed with having anyway. They had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain.
Nope, no brain.
Okay, so that's the 12 seed.
All right, 12 seed, and that just happened.
Taking on the number 5 seed, where Joe Biden was trying to be a tough guy. Now, the line in question is, get ready, pal, you're going to be in for a problem.
Get ready, pal, you're going in for a problem.
Again, it's supposed to be, get ready, pal, P-A-L, you're going to be in for a problem.
Get ready, pal, you're going in for a problem.
That's one of those, I mean, that's got to win easily. I mean, that one, the 12 seed's pretty strong, but get ready. I mean, that's one of my favorites. We repeat it to each other behind the scenes all the time.
Get ready, pal, with a hard B.
I mean, that's something, again, I mutter to myself as I'm shuffling around the house late at night. Get ready, Bal. You're going in for a problem. Get ready, Bal.
You're
my
gonna
wife
in for a
and
problem.
I'll use that line for my wife sometimes, like if we're arguing, or I'll say welcome to the party, pal.
And she just looks at you.
Yeah, which is a line in Die Hard, right? Welcome to the party, pal. But we've replaced it with Bal. It's just it's never ending.
So it's now up on Twitter. Voting is live at Hammer and Nigel. Follow us, like us, love us, and vote right now. We're going to pin it to the top. Biden Madness, the number 12 seed, the number 5 seed. Vote now at Hammer and Nigel.
Here, the Indiana Flower and Patio Show, March 11th through 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center, presented by Indiana 811. This is the ideal place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Stroll through this year's Indianapolis Landscape Association Feature Gardens, where spring is in full bloom and bursting with color. From landscaping and outdoor living to kitchens, baths, and more, don't miss the Indiana Flower and Patio Show. Plan your visit and save on tickets at indianaflowerandpatioshow.com.
My name is Sophie.
Sasha. Robert. Ron. And I'm alive thanks to my nurse practitioner.
My nurse practitioner saved me from a lifelong heart condition.
She prescribed the right medication. My NP diagnosed my multi-organ failure.
My NP listens.
She saved my life. Twice. And I will always be grateful.
To learn why millions of people choose NPs, visit us at wechoosenps.org.
Paid for by AANP. When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later, because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Crown Hill Funeral and Crown Hill Cemetery. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
If you're looking to maintain or add a new fireplace or stove in your home, there's only one place to call. That's Chimney Solutions. Chimney Solutions provides the best fireplaces from the most trusted and reliable brand names in the industry. Add ambiance and warmth to your home now. The government is even providing a 30% tax credit from purchase and installation up to $2,000. Call Chimney Solutions today at 317-757-6979. Online at chimneyindy.com. That's Chimney Solutions.
Hey there, it's JMV. If you have clogged drains, listen up. There are some clogs a plunger simply cannot fix. That's when you need a professional, and I highly recommend the team at LD Smith Plumbing to handle any water problem in your home, especially clogged drains. They have the know-how and the latest equipment to find the clog and remove it. They're truly water's boss. In the frustration of clogged drains, visit ldsmithplumbing.com today and request an appointment. That's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Skyworks Equipment Rental of Indianapolis has immediate openings for experienced parts coordinators, heavy equipment mechanics, CDL drivers, and outside sales reps. Full-time with medical, disability, PTO, 401k, and more. Apply today at skyworksllc.com/jobs. Skyworks, building America from the ground up.
Your local news coming up in a couple minutes after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
How far would the president go to crack down on cartels? Lisa Brady, Fox News. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre sidestepping a question about possible use of the U.S. military while answering questions about a deadly kidnapping in Mexico.
When it comes to Americans' lives and when it comes to the safety of Americans, the president's always going to make sure that that is a top priority.
2 of the 4 Americans kidnapped Friday in Mexico are dead. 2 others were found alive, brought back to the U.S. by ambulance.
Mexican officials confirmed
confirmed that police had found Latavia McGee and Eric Williams with a wound in his leg in a small house outside Matamoros, rural area. However, Zindell Brown and Shaheed Woodward were found dead in a field nearby.
Fox's William Lajeunesse, a relative says McGee, a mother of 6, was making a return trip to Mexico for a tummy tuck. The Americans possibly caught in fighting between rival cartels. They're not buying what China is selling. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators sponsoring a bill that would give the Biden administration new powers to ban TikTok and other foreign technologies over security threats. The White House says it supports that effort. Some lawmakers also want a ban on Chinese-made cranes used at U.S. ports over spying concerns.
Reportedly, some national security and Pentagon officials have gone so far as to compare these cranes to a Trojan horse. While they're inexpensive, they contain sophisticated sensors that can register and track containers, prompting concerns that China could capture information about material being shipped in or out of the country to support U.S. military operations. Normally, they're delivered fully assembled and then remotely operated through Chinese-made software, and that's a design that industry executives tell me could make it possible for Beijing to siphon intelligence or worse, disrupt our supply chain.
Fox Business's Kelly O'Grady at the Port of L.A. A Chinese official calls the crane concerns paranoia and an effort to mislead the American public. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It turned into an e-learning day. 49 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on your radar. Some clouds move in tonight with a low of 31. I'm Harrison Silcox for the Michaelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Greenwood High School students stayed at home today, all because some kids broke in overnight.
And they set off fire extinguishers in an act of vandalism. I'm Parker Carlson. Greenwood High School is now set for an e-learning day as the district works with the fire department to clean up the mess. The police department is also involved, searching for those responsible. After-school activities weren't canceled, and the administration says that the high school will be open tomorrow. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man was shot and killed outside of Lucas Oil Stadium late Monday night on Capitol Avenue. IMPD Public Information Officer William Young says they're still trying to find the shooter and they could use your help.
In regards to this particular case, if you have information, please reach out to our homicide investigators, and you can do that by dialing 317-327-3475.
He says you can give Crime Stoppers a call too. Police believe the shooter ran into the convention center briefly, so it was placed on a lockdown. Your senator believes the time is right for Congress to get to the bottom of the COVID lab leak theory. Donnie Burgess reports.
You've heard by now the U.S. Department of Energy believes COVID-19 most likely came from a lab leak in Wuhan, China, even though it was a low-confidence report. Your Senator Mike Braun tells Fox and Friends Weekend it's time for Republicans to keep pushing for declassification.
I think the consequences are going to be great in the sense that if there is something there, look at the political enterprising that's occurred over the last 2 years. The trillions of additional debt.
China has denied the lab leak story. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Actor and comedian Will Ferrell ramped up the crowd at the Pacers game last night.
What do we think of the Pacers? Sixers! Pacers!
Raptor 50 Cent was also in the building. The 76ers wound up winning the game, though. Ferrell was probably worth the price of admission for Pacers fans. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest-rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever, so call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
Traffic on the 5s at 5:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison looking at the northeast side, eastbound 465 stop and go before Keystone over to Allisonville Road. Downtown, inbound 65, slows down 21st Street to the north split. And bumper to bumper, eastbound 70 coming into downtown from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. East side, northbound 465, slows 70 up to Penn Pike. And we have a crash Kentucky Avenue at McCarty downtown. Another crash Kentucky Avenue at Tibbs. One on the west side, 10th at Concord. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl, a fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg. For breakfast at participating Wendy's, limited time only. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a breezy and colder night tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows falling into the low 30s. Wednesday will be near normal with highs rising into the mid-40s under mostly cloudy skies with breezy winds sticking around. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! Things been clear from the moment that the train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, with all the toxic chemicals, and then the controlled burn and letting them out into the atmosphere. It's been a complete disaster for the Biden administration. The lack of response. Pete Buttigieg even said as much. A transportation secretary. He's even said, yeah, I probably should have handled it a little bit differently. Coming weeks later, the day after Donald Trump was the hero and came there. Dweeb Buttigieg in his hard hat and his safety goggles and his neon safety jacket is there looking,
like if one of the Village People in dark helmet had a kid. That's what he looked like right there.
So now we fast forward to East Palestine and the EPA shipping toxic waste to Indiana. And that was a disaster. There was no communication. Nobody told Holcomb. He heard it third hand that this waste was coming here to where was it at?
Putnam County.
Putnam County. And wait a minute. What about the dioxins? That's the worst of the worst. I mean, are we going to test this stuff? Can the facility that it's going to in Indiana hold this stuff properly? Will the EPA transport it properly? There's so many questions.
Right.
So many questions, and now we're looking at this news that the EPA has paused shipments of any more material from the train spill to Indiana.
Well, that's good, except for the fact that 3 train loads full of it have already been brought to Indiana and stored at the Heritage Environmental Storage Facility in Putnam County. Now, again, this is not a knock of the Heritage Environmental Storage Facility.
They said they can handle it.
They said they can handle it. I'm sure they do great work. But there has to be better communication. And if you haven't tested for the dioxins, that's a problem, especially if you're going to be shipping this from the eastern part of Ohio to the western part of Indiana. And let's be honest, since the first time this happened here, there's been another derailment of trains from the fine folks at Norfolk. So I get why the governor's a little ticked off here, but now it sounds like there's been a pause. So it's good news, bad news. More isn't coming, but the bad news is there's already 3 train loads of it already put into storage here. So we'll find out what happens.
So is Biden going to the East Palestine or not? I thought he said he was.
I'm not even sure Biden knows what happened. I don't think he knows that this thing happened. He doesn't know what a train is. All he knows is that when Matlock comes on, he better have his pudding ready.
He's probably every time he hears East Palestine, he's thinking of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Right.
That's what he's thinking about. Well, no, why would I go to Israel? I'm not going over there.
So Biden said last week that he does intend to go to East Palestine.
Okay.
But now the White House is saying, yeah, the old man doesn't know what he's talking about.
The White House is now not exactly saying why they're not on the same page with the president. As you mentioned, the president said last week he does intend to go to East Palestine. But the White House is now saying that there are no plans on the books. There's no urgency in getting this plan on the book, even after increasing pressure over the last month from Republicans and Democrats, both on the state and the federal level, even from community members of East Palestine. The White House now really not explaining why they're on separate pages.
Yeah, it's a bad look. The optics are horrible. It should have taken place weeks, days into whenever this happened a couple of weeks ago, and it's just like I think it was Manchin that was criticizing Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden, saying, "Yeah, confidence. You instill confidence in your job and the people that live in East Palestine by physically showing up and doing your job," and that hasn't happened.
Now, this past weekend, I think the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, felt bad about his lack of response. So he decided to put the glasses back on, the hard hat, the vest, the work boots.
Really?
And he showed up in East Palestine, unannounced, helping out with first responders.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. He showed up with Hillary.
Please join me in welcoming my good friend, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
He did an on-stage event with Hillary Clinton.
In East Palestine?
No, not in East Palestine. No.
So happy to see you. So happy to see you.
Same here.
Yeah.
So hang out in the swamp with Hillary or go help the people in East Palestine, and he chose hanging out with Pantsuit Patty.
I don't think anybody there really had any interest in him being there in the first place. You already had Trump there, and that's all they needed. And they didn't want to go there because it's Trump country. It's a red area.
But if he would have went there the first or second day, like the minute that happens,
sure,
and he announces, hey, this is a disaster in the transportation industry. I'm the transportation secretary. I'm going to get on a flight and I'll be there tomorrow or maybe the next day, but I'm coming for help. I think that would have made people in East Palestine feel a little bit better, even though they probably are predominantly Trump supporters. That's what we've heard about this area. It would have been comforting knowing that your transportation secretary is taking it seriously.
Or the president. Again, optics matter. Physically being there matters. It instills confidence in the citizens.
Imagine giving these people the finger and then showing up on stage with Hillary Clinton. Good Lord. Allison, hit me with some vaccine stuff. Pharmacies, antibodies, side effects, vaccine stuff.
So you're seeing this happening in Europe. You're seeing this happening now in Canada. Even Canada now not recommending COVID vaccines for most people. This has already happened in Europe. Basically, they are downplaying the need. And in some cases, in some countries, they have restricted the availability of COVID vaccines for people who are not at risk for severe disease, severe cases of COVID.
So hold on. Let me make sure I've got this right. Canada, where Justin Trudeau is in charge, the same man that, if given the opportunity, would have nuked the truckers that were having protests about COVID restrictions, they have even said, yeah, we understand this whole vaccine thing kind of sucks.
Adults 80 years of age or older.
Wow.
Adults 65 to 70 years of age, particularly if they do not have a known history of COVID infection. And, of course, adults, residents living in long-term care homes with comorbidities. That's who they restrict. In Europe, they're restricting it for people of certain ages. You can't get it in some countries. Now, you think about that juxtaposed with the CDC here in the United States. Not only do they recommend everybody get the vaccine and all the boosters, but every single American 6 months of age or older, they're pushing on it. 6 months.
We just had the story the other day of San Francisco. Right now, San Francisco, their COVID restrictions technically ended, but the COVIDians are freaking out so much they don't know what else to do, so they're getting ready to pass even more mask mandates.
Yeah. I have a feeling there's an entire generation of future parents who look at the incompetency of the CDC and have made a judgment about all vaccines, not just worthless COVID vaccines, but the legit and life-saving vaccines for the kids. They've made the judgment that they don't want to do it. And that's devastating. That's the real harm that the CDC has done.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer inbound 65 is stopping. and go 21st Street to the north split. Same with eastbound 70. It's Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Northeast side eastbound 465. Locked up Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville and inbound 69. Struggling from 96 to 82nd. Crash west side 10th and Concord 2 on Kentucky Avenue at McCarty and Kentucky Avenue at Tibbs. Traffic sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Invisible Fence brand has protected over 3 million pets. Their trading results in a 99% success rate, and they even offer a 1-year money-back guarantee. Learn more at InvisibleFence.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And just real quick, to show you how ridiculous the vaccine policies and recommendations are in this country, Novak Djokovic, the number 1 tennis player in the world, is still not allowed to play in tournaments. Going on right now in California, there's another one in Miami right now because of the vaccine policy in this country. They don't let unvaxxed people in this. Now, that's set to end here in a couple of months, but he applied for a deferral or whatever, and they're not letting him in. So there's 2 tournaments. The number 1 player in the world can't play right now because ridiculous vaccine policy.
So there could be a 400-pound dude at a buffet right now, but one of the most healthiest people on the planet.
Who's had COVID, I think, twice.
Can't come in.
Exactly.
Ridiculous. Right now, we are looking at 49 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. We got Tony Katz coming up a little bit after 5:30. Make sure you stick around for that. And it's a close one. Vote right now, Biden Madness on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
What? It's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance.
If you don't live near a Low T Center or just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatments. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Where are your life's most important memories stored? In your basement, right? Cracks in your foundation and high humidity could mean water's coming in your basement, eventually causing flooding, and you'll lose all your precious photos and memories. Crossroads Foundation Repair travels all over the region, repairing foundations with the highest quality service. Call now and get a free sump pump with full basement waterproofing system. Read our 5-star reviews at crossroadsfoundationrepair.com and call 844-975-6735.
Attention men, here's a great way to have more fun in bed and save money. If you want to take something like Viagra, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Yes, $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men to improve their performance and confidence. You will love them. And now, for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get 50 or more for around $100. You'll save hundreds of dollars off retail prices. That's enough to buy your date a nice dinner. Don't pay expensive prices for Viagra. Call now, order 50 or more of our blue pills, and pay as little as $2 a pill and save hundreds of dollars. Call anytime for confidential shipping.
Call Steelman Pills now at 800-BUY-BLUE. 800-BUY-BLUE. 800-BUYBLUE.
Get 3 rooms of carpet Zero-Res clean for only $149. That's real spring cleaning with Zero-Res. 388-5141 or online at ZeroResIndy.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello. Jason Hammer's here. I am here. My name is Nigel. Remember that story we had yesterday, that crazy story about how Ford Motor Company is working on creating vehicles that would allow drivers to actually go to sleep while driving on the highway?
Oh, we heard from the CEO yesterday.
He was all fired up.
He can't wait to go to sleep in a car.
It doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Everything I've learned about driving. And by the way, the Tesla already has this function, but it's weird. There's like a workaround with Tesla. Like, we've seen footage of people asleep in Teslas as they're going down the road because they have technology that doesn't let you do that. Like, you can't just sit there for an hour straight with your hands off the wheel on a Tesla, right? They have to, I don't know if you have to touch the wheel or they have to feel some vibrating or something.
Some sort of motion detection.
Yes, exactly. And people know how to rig that so it doesn't work either. But to actually make a car for the purposes of going to sleep on your way to work or on a road trip is absolutely insane to me. What have we always learned growing up driving?
Like, 1, pay attention. 2, don't look at your phone. Don't be drunk. And I can't stress this enough, don't go to sleep.
Now, listen to this. Ford has actually filed for a patent that describes a system where a bank could remotely disable your car if the person that's leasing the vehicle hasn't kept up with the payments. Did you hear about this?
So if you start lacking in your payments, instead of them calling you or knocking on your door wanting their money, they'll just turn off your car.
Which is kind of creepy. It's kind of dystopian to me in some respects. And we here at the Hammer and Nigel Show came up with a little tribute from Hammer and Nigel Records.
I'm in my car, and it's driving itself to the bank parking lot, and I have no control of my car. Can't pay my bills because I lost my job, and now it appears I no longer own this car.
Little Gary Newman tribute.
So now Ford, in fairness, says it doesn't plan on deploying this technology. They just file a lot of patents.
How long would it take you to trust this technology? Like, you mentioned road trip earlier, because I was talking with my family about this last night. We were recapping what we did on the show today, and we brought that story up. Like, in theory, it would be awesome to get in your car at, like, midnight, just take a bunch of ZQL, go to sleep, wake up, and you're at Myrtle Beach, right?
It would be amazing.
Right, but could you trust it? How long would it take you to trust that technology?
Here's the thing. I'm not just talking about cars either, because my dad had a Tesla at one point. He said that technology is amazing, but like these smart air conditioners and these smart refrigerators, you don't want something that the company could get into. Like, you know, in California, you buy a smart air conditioner, and then a company says, hey, we're not letting you go past 75 degrees in the summer, and there's no way around it. That's scary stuff.
Because you signed off on it, though. That's the way that it works. That small print that everybody takes for granted. Oh, sure, I'll take a discount on my smart air conditioner.
Right.
But then if there's a heat wave, there's rolling blackouts, and you're screwed.
A new study shows that more than half of people are scared of clowns.
I've never been scared of clowns.
Have you seen the movie It?
Well, I've seen Joe Biden.
So, a new study shows that more than half of the people are scared of Joe Biden.
Now, that's a study I can believe.
Some of the scientific reasons people have this fear, just mainly negative portrayals of clowns in pop culture and movies. Clown makeup is hiding the person's real emotions, and it's like unpredictable behavior makes people uncomfortable. Basically, demonizing and making the clown evil in movies. I think it's really why people don't like clowns. It's like movies like It.
Right.
Or Devil's Rejects. What's the matter, kid? You don't like clowns?
What's the matter, kid? Don't you like clowns? Why? Don't we make you laugh?
And I would think, too, that John Wayne Gacy probably had a little bit of something to do with that as well. Like, there have been some creepy portrayals of clowns. I get it, but I've never been scared of clowns. I'm more scared of Joe Biden than I am of Bozo. Let me make that perfectly clear. Yeah. Every once in a while, you'll see on social media something that happened like a year or two ago starts to trend again. Like a whole new audience starts to see it. And I don't know if it's because of the movie Cocaine Bear that's out or what, but there's a video going viral again. Now, this is from a couple of years ago. It's a guy, and I think he's living in California, and he looks outside in his driveway, and there's a bear. There's a black bear trying to get inside of his car. So he happens to have one of those little dodgeballs. You know, the little red ones we used to play with as kids in gym class?
Oh, you sent me this last night.
He picks up the dodgeball, and I want you to listen to this clip here. He fires a heater at this bear. Oh!
Get out. Go. Go. Get out of here.
And he runs away.
Right.
I'd never seen that. I didn't know it was a couple years old.
Now, I've isolated the clip of where the guy grabs the ball. You can hear, like, the wind behind the throw and then the ball hitting the bear in a stupid bear face.
I mean, that's a bullseye right there.
Right. Which brings us to...
There we go.
Great moments in shooing away bears history. This was the woman that tried to scare the black bear away from her yard.
Oh, no. No food for you. No food for you, bear. Bear, no. Bear. Bear, no. Go. Thank you. Go, baby. Go. Oh, my Lord. Bear. Go. No. Get going. Get going. Get going.
Like,
Go.
I don't know what it is with these people. They just must live in an area where this is a common thing and they're used to bears, animals that could just maul you and eat your innards while you're still living. But these people just seem to be, hey, get out of here, or pick up a plastic or a rubber dodgeball and throw it at I'd be screaming in sheer terror.
Right. Can you imagine taking your trash out tonight and you come around the corner to put your trash in the big container and there's a bear?
No. My worst nightmare.
This is a guy who's trying to use his dad voice to scare the bear away.
Hey, no, don't do that.
He's laughing.
Hey, come on, man. No, don't do that.
That's like me yelling at my kid when they were 3 years old, getting into the garbage. That's exactly what it sounded like. This guy's yelling at a thing that could just eat him alive.
Don't do that.
Hey, Connor, don't do that. Connor.
Hey, come on, man. No, don't do that.
It's crazy, though. Like, if you're from Tennessee or if you're from California, you're probably just thinking, it's a bear. But around here, if you see a bear, I'm grabbing a gun.
Exactly.
Coming up next, we are going to connect with Tony Katz. Tuesdays with Tony. We're going to get Tony's thoughts on what he saw from the Tucker video last night, and Tony will recap his CPAC experience. That is coming up right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It happened near a stadium you've probably been to. 49 degrees with clear skies in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar is clear. You've got a low of 30 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. If you saw Indy Metro Police near Lucas Oil Stadium around 10 last night, it's because someone was shot.
I can tell you that an individual did sustain injuries consistent with a gunshot wound. Unfortunately, that individual was pronounced deceased here by IEMS.
IMPD Public Information Officer William Young says they are trying to find the shooter. If you can be of help, you're asked to call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. Vandalism kept Greenwood High School students home for an e-learning day Tuesday. Parker Carlson reports.
Overnight, some kids broke into the Greenwood High School and set the fire extinguishers loose, causing enough of a mess to warrant closing the school Tuesday. The district is working with the fire department to clean up the high school, but they're also working with the police to find the ones responsible. While students are on an e-learning day, after-school activities will continue as normal, and students will be returning to in-person learning Wednesday. Anyone with info into the vandalism is asked to contact the police department. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Biden administration is discussing recent violence in Mexico. Fox's Ryan Schmelz has more.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says American safety is a top priority while taking questions on threats posed by cartels.
When it comes to Americans' lives and when it comes to the safety of Americans, the president's always going to make sure that that is a top priority.
This comes after 2 Americans were killed in a kidnapping that involved 4 total Americans in Mexico. The press secretary would not say if the administration would support efforts from some members of Congress to designate cartels as terrorist organizations or if there's consideration to use the United States military to disrupt their operations. At the White House, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
A bipartisan group of senators are pushing for a bill to stop foreign governments from exploiting technology like TikTok to target Americans. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Mark Warner said the Restrict Act would give the federal government broader authority to restrict Chinese-owned TikToks and other foreign-owned apps that may pose a threat to national security. There are concerns that foreign nations could take advantage of Americans by taking a look at their data. The average price for gas in the Hoosier State today is $3.42 per gallon of regular, according to GasBuddy.com. That average is down 1 cent from where it was Monday. And with traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, northbound 465, stop and go northwest side, 86th Street, 2865, making east. You are slow past Michigan. Eastbound 465, stop and go traffic, Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69, slows 96, 282nd. East side, northbound 465, tight from 70 up to 69, and inbound 65, stop and go traffic, 21st Street to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. Fort Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a breezy and colder night tonight under mostly cloudy skies with lows falling into the low 30s. Wednesday will be near normal with highs rising into the mid-40s under mostly cloudy skies with breezy winds sticking around. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Tony!
Hey, Tony!
Pretty boy, Tony.
It's Tuesday with Tony Cass on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Don't want to keep Tony waiting.
Looking up live with Tony Katz. TK, how are you, my friend?
Yo, baby, what are you doing?
So, I want to get your thoughts and reaction and your experience at CPAC here in just a few minutes. Let's start with the Tucker Carlson January 6 footage. Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, gives Tucker all this unseen footage. He goes through it, aired it all last night. People's heads are spinning. Chuck Schumer said Tucker's synopsis was, I forget what he said, shameful, one of the most shameful moments in television. I'm paraphrasing. Just your initial thoughts and reactions of this new footage that we had never seen before.
I think that it allows you to ask questions. And I think that's the part that Chuck Schumer and the political left hate the most. I do not question whether or not there was violence on January 6th. There was violence on January 6th. It would be foolhardy to say that there wasn't. It would be a lie to say that there wasn't. And if Tucker Carlson was saying there was no violence on January 6th, I didn't catch the show last night, I've only seen the videos that were released, he'd be wrong. He would be wrong. I would say he was wrong. I would tell him to his face he was wrong. Of course he's wrong. Of course there was violence on January 6th.
But he didn't see
the question, no, I'm saying I didn't see it. I'm saying if he said X, I would do Y. There's no need to defend him on any of this. I'm not saying the man did anything wrong. What I would say is that if you believe that you're not allowed to see a video that might force you to ask a question about, wait a second, that wasn't violent. Wait a second, that wasn't violent. Were there a lot of things happening here? If you're opposed to seeing those videos, then you're the problem. And right now we should admit that Chuck Schumer is 1,000%. 1,000% the problem. He's the issue. He doesn't want you to be able to see that maybe there's some nuance, that the entirety of the January 6th committee was absolutely lying to America. They showed what they wanted to show, not the totality of what was, and they aren't in any way discussing the failures of the Capitol Police or of the Speaker of the House or of the Sergeant at Arms. And the question we should be asking is why? More information is always better, and Chuck Schumer in the well of the Senate was begging for less information. I don't know what you do with a guy like that.
Tony, you and I have talked about this before. I went into last night thinking there's nothing Tucker's going to show me that's going to change my mind. I already thought the January 6th committee was a sham, and I still feel like the January 6th committee was a sham. But what I did like last night, and I watched the whole thing, was the way Tucker broke it down video by video, frame by frame. And it took away so many narratives, like the Josh Hawley running for his life narrative, the one representative that was allegedly giving recon tours the day before. The way that he did it last night just took so much wind out of the sails of the political left that today you're seeing damage control. Whether it's Chuck Schumer, whether it's CBS News, MSNBC, you're seeing it all over the place.
I agree that the video did exactly that. Better help people understand with context what it is we've seen. But allow me to make sure we're setting the table properly here. If we have learned anything from the late, great Andrew Breitbart, if you do this properly, the videos we're seeing are not the entree, they're the appetizer. I describe them as the potato skins of the videos, and we are soon going to get to the Hawaiian steak that is soon to be coming. I mean, if you're dropping them right, you're not dropping the greatest stuff first. You're dropping some things. You're going to let this build. That's what I would be doing.
And what cracks me up is just today, again, barely, 18, 19 hours removed from when Tucker aired these things, you've got CBS. They're in just panic mode this morning. And the reason I bring up CBS is because on their morning show today, they made it perfectly clear that the majority of the people at the Capitol were not peaceful. The majority of the people were rioting and were angry. But this is also the same CBS where Norah O'Donnell sat there with that stupid grin on her face and said that the riots of 2020 were mostly peaceful despite $2 billion worth of damage.
You noting that these people are ridiculous, shameful liars is good and important, and I would advise you to keep on doing just that. But they have no decency, they have no shame, they have no willingness. We have to rely on the rest of America. What you go back to Chuck Schumer. One of the things, if you caught Chuck Schumer's talk, was, "Hey, Fox News, don't let Tucker Carlson do this again." A member of the U.S. Senate lecturing to the free press about what they should and shouldn't air, and we're supposed to think that that's normal? We're supposed to think that these are the people we have faith in and we should trust? That's mental. Pure That's insanity. And the more you hear Chuck Schumer be upset, the more you know you shouldn't have faith in what Chuck Schumer is saying.
But Tony, according to that clip you played earlier, I heard you play. Who was it? Ken Burns. What did he say? Something about the Tucker airing this footage is a threat to democracy.
Yes,
it's always a threat to democracy, isn't it? That's always the go-to line.
Ken Burns, a documentarian on CNN. Yeah. In order to have this conversation, he went to go see Don Lemon and Poppy Harlow. And right now, I believe I've received 4 muffin baskets thanking me for sharing the information because now people actually heard it.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to see it, did it really fall? And if it happens on Don Lemon's show, did anybody really see it? Tuesdays with Tony Katz with us. Take me to CPAC. We've been talking about CPAC. You were there, thanks to our friends at Relay Indiana. And it felt like this was the Jeb Bush CPAC. This was low energy CPAC. There's low energy Jeb and there's low energy CPAC. Take me through with your experiences.
So the low energy part came from the fact that it was a very, very poorly attended CPAC, which could be for a whole host of reasons. It could be that it was after a midterm and there weren't enough candidates there, so people didn't want to show up. It could be because they're charging too much money for the event. It could be because Matt Schlapp, there are allegations of him in sexual impropriety, groping a man, and while the people I know on the inside who are saying, yeah, that didn't happen and we know about this guy and et cetera, I'll let them do the outing of that. I have a tendency to believe them, although I'm willing to accept any information someone puts in front of me, or at least I'll look at it. There hasn't been much pushback to that story, and it could have led to things. Then, of course, there's the Fox News component, which is because Fox is so written off Trump, and the ACU, the American Conservative Union, which puts on CPAC, is so connected to Trump, they didn't advertise the thing. They didn't push the thing. There was no Fox News connection to CPAC at all. They were not there, so that could have cost them a lot of ticket sales. And then there's Turning Point USA, which gets a much younger crowd. They had their event in December. Yeah. Competition, absolutely true. And they draw thousands and thousands of kids, and they've got better music and better entertainment, and the girls are hotter. So, I mean, all of a sudden we're not into real life. Of course that matters. Are you going to have a good time or not? And so all of that could have played in to this.
Were you able to stay? Were you able to stay for Trump's speech, or were you out of there?
No, I was still in town for Trump's speech, although I was not in the room for Trump's speech. I knew quite a few people who were, and even those people who are much more in a DeSantis place. And by the way, there was no mention of Ron DeSantis. There were no shirts, no hats, no swag, nothing. Even those people, though, who are like, you know what, I've seen Trump, I'll move on now. They were very, very impressed with Trump's speech. They thought that he was as policy heavy as they've ever seen him before, and they liked it. They liked it a lot.
Real quick, one more thing before we let you go, Tony. I had to get out of the car. I missed your part this morning on your show when you were talking about Chris Rock and his Netflix special. I wonder, how you thought it ended. What did you think of that ending? And, something about white people, then the mic drop moment, just your overall impression of that Chris Rock special.
So he ended the special talking about the Will Smith slap, did Chris Rock, and why didn't he hit Will Smith back? Why didn't he do anything back? And he said, because I was raised, because I have parents. Yeah. And what did my parents teach me? Don't fight in front of white people. And that's not, some people took that as a racial line, not me. It's about you don't air your dirty laundry in public. You got a problem with somebody, you go up to them directly. When I see Republicans and conservatives fighting conservatives in front of the CNN cameras, I'm like, this is dumb. And when you go back to the Corleones and the Godfather and Don Corleone chastising Sonny for questioning whether or not they should get into this deal with drugs, don't let anybody else inside the family know what you're thinking. That's what Chris Rock was talking about right there. And absolutely, I'm willing to bet you all the money in the world, there's many a black parent who said, don't fight in front of white people. They already have this vision of you. They already think of you this way. Don't give them anything to work with. Absolutely, it got said that way. But the larger meaning is what matters.
What is coming up on your big shows tomorrow, Tony?
Anybody going to notice that Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, said, oh, yeah, these interest rates, they're here to stay. Here to stay. Suck it, bitches. And so, and then the market fell like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points. I don't know. I don't even want to know it's that right, where it ended. But that's what I'm talking about.
He's on social media at Tony Katz, Facebook, Tony Katz Radio. TK, thank you.
Always.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What if you didn't have to continue working to live a lifestyle you're happy with? What if you could spend the rest of your life doing what you want to do when you want to do it, not worrying about others claiming your time and energy? Aspiring retirees want to know how to achieve the work optional lifestyle. A much better question is, who can help you achieve this lifestyle? Working because you want to, not because you have to, is financial freedom. This is Brian Singer. My friend and colleague Casey Weed, the founder of Howard Bailey Financial, wrote a best-selling book titled Job Optional. I'm excited to be part of a team that has developed and refined a proprietary process designed to help people who are still working create a job-optional lifestyle. The Howard Bailey Retire with Purpose framework looks at 5 key areas of your financial life and then informs your choices to design a lifestyle as unique as you are. Retire with Purpose puts all the pieces of the puzzle together in a process designed to bring predictability and purpose to your financial life. We're not all things to all people. We are all things to some people. This means we primarily work with people who understand you don't need to know how, you just need to know who. Who knows how to fit all the pieces of the puzzle together to support your one-of-a-kind lifestyle? Who can do that for you and do it so well that that advisor team is the last team you will ever need or want? We work with people who expect their relationship with us to be transformational rather than transactional. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a retirement readiness review and see how the Retire with Purpose process might transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved. Job Optional was the #1 Amazon bestseller in retirement planning on 7/2/19 and a Wall Street Journal ebook bestseller on 8/9/19.
In a wreck and want to win? I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs. For over 30 years, our team at Isaacs & Isaacs Personal Injury Lawyers has fought the big insurance companies. And with over $1 billion recovered, we know how to win. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund or your money back, plus $100. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
You got a hammer looking at eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. East side, northbound 465 slows from 70 up to Penn Pike and Lawrence. Inbound 65 stop and go 21st to the split. At eastbound 70 slow to come to downtown from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go with pros, go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 140 46th Street and River Road, or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
49 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. An entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel show coming up. If you missed any of the new January 6th footage that was released and what we can glean from the new footage and exactly why the left and the January 6th committee didn't want us to see some of this footage, coverage for you coming up after 6 o'clock.
Big news out of the Big Ten earlier. Purdue's Zach Edey, the big man, he was named Conference Player of the Year and a unanimous selection for first team All Big Ten. So congratulations to the big guy. And for you IU fans, Trace Jackson Davis, unanimous selection for All Big Ten first team. So good year for college basketball. I hate that the city of Indianapolis is not hosting the Big Ten tournament this week, but congratulations to those kids.
So they're not hosting any of the games for the tournament. We don't get a couple regional spots, do we?
Nothing. No men's Big Ten tournament. We didn't get the women's Big Ten tournament. And it really stinks because this is the year where IU and Purdue are both good in men's and women's basketball. Yeah. Like all the programs are pretty good. So that's kind of a bummer. The city missed out on that revenue. Switching from basketball to baseball. Spring training happening right now at a lot of places in the country. And Major League Baseball, they put in some major rules changes this year. They've got a pitch clock. Have you seen this?
Is this the biggest one that they've done? Is this like the most significant rule change?
Yes.
Because I didn't know. I went to the Indians game last summer, and they've been doing the pitch clock for a while now, I would assume, in the minors.
Right.
But how long? Do you like it?
I don't because, man, I'm a baseball fan, though. I'm not like your casual fan. I'm a hardcore baseball guy. I love the strategy. I think if the pitcher wants to step off the mound and throw to first base and take his time, I'm fine with that. I love the mind games, but maybe I'm in the minority. So baseball has put in a pitch clock to try to speed the game up. And we started thinking here at the Hammer and Nigel show, what if the Major League Baseball pitch clock worked in real life type of situations?
Sick and tired of people wasting your time? Well, Major League Baseball knows how to speed things up. Introducing the Real Life Pitch Clock. It's an app on your phone that shows anyone you're talking to how much time they have left. Like your wife's boring stories.
Do you remember Barb? So I was talking to
Show
Barb.
the pitch clock.
And Barb said, let's have dinner.
Time's up. Have a long-winded friend?
So the factory I work in has a multi-year plan for it. Yeah, so long story short, I think I'll stay there.
Oh, just got it in. And what about sex?
No pitch clock needed, Speedy.
The new Real Life Pitch Clock. Inspired by Major League Baseball. Now you're in the game.
All right. More Hammer and Nigel show after 6 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever, so call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful